won't call him a Rangers legend, but was vital to those teams that, were consistently in the playoffs. Derek Stepan, pictured here as a Hurricane.
Yeah, he wound up having a long career. Obviously, he was a big part of like those Rangers teams in the early like 2010s and whatnot. But then he just kind of bounced around as like your classic like journeyman fourth line and grind energy type of guy. One of those guys so that like the 200 hockey men head coaches just love because they play the game the right way. They don't make mistakes. They'll forecheck. They're willing to scrap it up. They'll do all the dirty work that like the fancy little star boys don't want to do.
And that's the thing, guys like that, you can almost track their careers because sometimes they'll start in the top six and then like as their career goes on, okay, they're second line, third line, fourth line, but they'll hang around for the fourth line and still be very productive, effective players.
And you need those guys on your team, like especially like if you want to be a championship team, like yeah, you need the star talent at the top of your lineup, but you also need like those guys who, I keep saying this like every few weeks when we do hockey, you need assholes on your team.
And
I say that in the most endearing way possible. Like you need guys who are going to be like pieces of shit on your team, and like not necessarily that Derek Stepan's like necessarily
he's
that
a
guy,
different mold, but he does the stuff that doesn't show up on the immediate part of the score sheet. And the thing is, it's not just about scoring more than the other team in the playoffs. You need to have lines of guys that could go out there and shut down the other team's top line, and that's exactly what Derek Stepan was for a while.
Exactly. You need guys who will forecheck, who will put in the work in all three zones.
So now we got Nazem Kadri here, pictured as an all-star back from his Avalanche days.
Yeah, one of those players that I would probably describe as like a POS type of player, and I mean that in the most endearing way possible.
It's a compliment here.
Style of play, yeah.
It's something you want to put on your resume, according to Rip N Riff. We've got one of the guys that was moved at the trade deadline, and man, does this make the Hurricanes deep and scary. Yevgeny Kuznetsov. I mean, they got him for a pretty good deal. And, it gives them that second line center they need. To me, that's going to be the one that's going to make the difference or not. I know they got Gensel, and that was the big one, but center depth matters in the playoffs.